What?
It's time now for My Two Favorite Librarians, brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.
Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about horror.
Of course we are, because Halloween is Saturday.
Yes.
So, also happening on Halloween is the Trail of Treats. So there are going to be locations throughout the downtown with Maggie's Place, the Y, and the library, and kids can go around and have a safe, socially distanced Halloween fun. So in front of the library, we're going to have a table, and it is going to have a silhouette scavenger hunt, a lollipop pull for prizes. We're going to have some take and make crafts. So they're all bagged up and you take them home and make them there. And we'll be giving out some Halloween buttons. And that is October 31st from 3 to 6 p.m.
All right.
And do you know what tonight is?
It's book club night.
Tonight is book club night.
I bet you I haven't finished the book.
We are recording this in advance, so I hope you have finished the book. I hope I have finished the book.
I doubt it.
If you have not registered for book club tonight, I would suggest you do that right away because we need to send you out the Zoom link. This is a virtual book club. It will be held over Zoom. If you don't have a Zoom account, that is fine. You can just do it online. The library has a Zoom account, so it's no cost to you. You can also download the Zoom app. Again, it's a free app to download, and the library will be hosting it. So, now, on to our topic. You've been watching a lot of horror movies lately.
Well, no. I've been watching some Halloween movies.
Because some things are too scary for you to watch.
Yeah, I don't really do scary. Well, and also, as the library, I have to have things for all people to watch.
Yes. We make fun of our friend Stephanie because she cannot handle anything scary.
I think Ghostbusters might be too scary for her.
I think Ghostbusters is probably the edge of the scariest thing she can handle. I'm going to make sure she listens to this show, too.
I will say this. I just started rewatching Supernatural, which we were talking about the other day. So I started back on season 1. They're on season like 250 now. Those poor boys are like 105 years old.
They're on their last season.
I know, but nonetheless.
I think it's 15 seasons.
Well,
that's a long time out of their lives.
It is, because I'm pretty sure Sam was like 22-ish, and he must be in his 40s now. Like, how are they still alive?
Well, they die multiple times.
I know. And it's actually pretty creepy. The first episode with the woman in white was actually pretty like creepy for me. And I was like, ooh, the Wendigo, not so much. But the special effects, of course, this
better.
would be like 20 years ago. They get better as they go along. I like a monster a week kind of thing.
Yes.
And they do get into like these overarching like blah 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 things. But it was good. I only got 2 episodes in the other night, but I'm going to keep it up.
Some of those episodes are quite, creepy.
They do have some good scares.
The library does own those on DVD. So,
yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have a streaming service, you can borrow them from us and watch them.
So we're going to talk mostly about like movies and television series today for our horror Halloween classic. So I've been posting some things on Instagram, and again, I'm going for like a wide age range. Not everything is like super scary, and also I can't have everything. I have to have some things for next year.
Well, didn't you you posted Paranorman?
I did, yes.
And you watched that one.
I have watched it in the past, yes.
And that's
a kid-friendly movie, which was pretty cute. I enjoyed it as an adult because, you know, sometimes kids' movies, let's talk about Halloween Town, aren't always the most awesome things. I could not get through that whole movie, but people love that. It's like a Halloween classic.
Let's talk about a couple of scary
movies.
I don't know that these are actually scary. I'm not sure if I've made you watch this one before, but have I made you watch Wasp Woman?
No. Where do you get these horrible movies?
The library owns it. It's a 1959 horror movie, in quote marks. This cosmetics queen is transformed into a murderous monster after she uses an insect chemical to preserve her beauty. And the cover shows this giant wasp with a woman's head, but in the movie, she's a woman with a wasp's head. So don't be deceived.
Nice. Okay. My movies are better.
Oh, no. Let's also talk about my absolute favorite.
Ugh.
The Killer Shrews. I know I've made you watch that movie. I've made everybody watch that movie. It is so terrible. I love it so much.
Roscoe Pico Train from the Dukes of Hazzards is the hero.
Yeah, the actor is James Best. Yeah, and he was like a pretty attractive when he was a young man.
Sure.
Yeah. I love that movie so much. It is so bad.
Tell them about the shrews.
The shrews are bred to become giant. So they're like the size of a dog.
And they actually are a dog. They're like Irish setters with carpets over top
They
of
use
them.
dogs and put blankets on them. At one point, there's this terrifying scene where they're trapped inside this compound and the shrews are like clawing at the walls to get in. But you can see the dogs wagging their tails. I love it so much. So if you want a, quote, scary movie, you can go with one of those, and then you get to just laugh and enjoy it.
So some actual scary movies. And one that Denise couldn't watch is Us
I'm too afraid to watch that.
by Jordan Peele. He directed it. He also directed Get Out, which is another amazing scary movie.
Which I also haven't watched.
So I think last
Just
week...
the trailers of those.
I know, I couldn't watch the trailer either. I was like, ooh.
frightening. And I like a scary movie, but those are just like, they're so psychologically terrifying.
Yes, they're amazingly good. Amazing. So I haven't watched them, but I highly recommend those.
Too afraid to watch it.
And I have lots of kids classics. So Hocus Pocus, of course, is everyone's favorite.
I have never seen it.
We'll watch it this weekend.
Okay.
I watched it on the plane coming back from Paris a couple of years ago because I had never seen it either. Haunted Mansion is another one.
Is that the Eddie Murphy?
Yes, it is. Based on the ride at Disneyland World, whichever.
Disney.
Yes. It's pretty cute as well. I can see why the kids like it. I mean, it's a Disney movie, so it's fun. Coraline.
I've read the book.
The movie is beautiful.
Based on a book by Neil Gaiman.
Beautiful. Monsters, Inc. There's a movie I haven't watched.
Monsters, Inc. is so cute.
One that I actually repurchased for the library because, of course, I went looking for lists of like Halloween movies for all ages. James and the Giant Peach came up on quite a few lists by Roald Dahl. And so I rebought a copy. I saw that in the theater in the 90s. And again, it's like one of these like stop motion, claymation, whatever. Oh, it's so good. I love James and the Giant Peach.
I don't know if I've ever watched it.
So on Fridays, I'm posting some family-friendly Friday movies. That are things that everybody can watch.
Are Halloween-y, but not necessarily scary.
The new Goosebumps movie with Jack Black. I don't think it did very well, but they've released a second one. And another movie based on a book, because of course Goosebumps is based on the series, is, it's got a really weird title. The House with the Clock in the Wall or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And you posted that and somebody commented that they loved that book. It was their favorite.
Probably Beth. And I can't think of who the author is now, but he wrote a lot of scary books like in the 70s. And I think we've weeded quite a few of them out of our collection at this point because nobody's borrowing them. But they just made it, again, not a big hit, but maybe something fun you can watch with your family. Okay, controversial, because I consider this a Christmas movie, is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think it is both a Christmas movie and a Halloween movie, so you should absolutely watch it twice a year or more.
I do have Jack Skellington and Sally decorations.
Oh.
I do really enjoy that movie. It has some problematic things in it, but I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
So, the Addams Family. I want to talk about the Addams Family because there's like a whole industry around the Addams Family. There's the original series. Loved it. There's the amazing movies from the 90s
with
Angelica Houston.
And I'm trying to
It's
remember
Raul
who
Julia, isn't it?
I'm trying to remember who was Wednesday.
Oh, Christina Ricci.
Couldn't get the words.
We're missing somebody's maybe stolen our 90 series, so I'm reordering it. But I'm also wondering if it's lost somewhere as well before I just blame random people. But there's a new animated version of the Addams Family that we do have on DVD, and it was pretty cute. I watched it the other day, and Wednesday decides to rebel against her parents by going to junior high. And it's pretty cute and funny. So I enjoyed it. So I do have some kid stuff. I have some medium stuff that I can watch. Like we mentioned, Ghostbusters. I love the Ghostbusters.
The first one is much better.
Yeah. The Craft.
Oh, yes.
A 90s favorite.
Yes.
Which they are currently remaking.
Yes, I read that. Yeah.
Very excited. Another really scary one. I don't know if you've seen this either. I don't think you finished it. A Quiet Place.
I got almost to the end, and it made me so anxious, and I just turned it off. It was just so anxiety producing.
Did you read what happened? Did you actually like spoil yourself and finish the movie? Because I actually went and read like spoilers so I knew what happened.
No.
Oh,
No, I didn't. I just don't know how it ended. And now there's a Quiet Place 2 has come out.
Yes.
Or is coming out.
Is coming out. I don't think the pandemic has ruined it, of course.
The pandemic has ruined everything.
I know you've seen this movie, The Shining.
I have seen that movie. I have read that book. I also read Dr. Sleep, but I have not seen the movie for Dr. Sleep.
So some kind of, I'm putting quoting marks around it, scary movies from like a few decades ago.
The Killer Shrews.
No. More recent decades than that. Let's talk about Poltergeist.
Oh my goodness. My parents let me watch Poltergeist when I was, 8. When did it come out?
Oh, I feel like it was I was thinking the mid 80s.
And I was terrified, and I could not sleep in my room for a week. When I went to go to bed, my dad said, make sure you close your closet door, and that was it. And I like to remind him of that often, that, he just terrified me. And every time I remind him of that, he giggles.
What about Carrie?
The book is scarier. I think in many instances, the book is scarier because your imagination
can fill in a lot of blanks.
Yeah. For sure. Because I read the first Dexter book and watched, several seasons of that series. And the first Dexter book was so disturbing to me, I did not read any more of the series because when Jeffrey Lindsay,
yeah, I think so,
is describing things that Dexter is doing, it is way more terrifying than what they filmed. Way more terrifying.
What about The Exorcist?
Oh, that was a scary movie. That really frightened me.
I bet if we watched it now, we'd laugh our faces off.
Maybe. And maybe it was the time that I watched it. The first time I saw it, I was in high school, and my friend had just moved to a new house. So there wasn't like a lot of furniture in their house yet. And she had this sort of attic rec room that her parents had said, this is a place where you can go hang out with your friends. So we were basically in this attic. I don't think there were any chairs. And we were watching the movie in the dark. And I was terrified.
Okay, a movie that, I don't know how to describe it, was really the pinnacle of this director's work. and he's never been able to create anything as good. Don't look at my list. The Sixth Sense.
Oh, M. Night Shyamalan.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, and the twist, I did not see coming. Like, I was like, well, maybe it's this and maybe it's that.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I enjoyed it. I've seen a couple of his other movies, but nothing is really... I had to rebuy that because the library didn't own it. And I was like, I would consider that a classic at this point.
Well, and sometimes the reason we don't own a movie anymore is...
Well, it gets used.
If a lot of people watch it, DVDs get scratched up even if you're being careful with them. So after a while, we can't buff those scratches out anymore.
One of your favorites, I think...
The Killer Shrews?
No. Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, I do love Night of the Living Dead. I bought that for us because I said that is a classic movie.
I would consider that a classic.
That's a classic, not just a horror classic. It's a classic movie. I mean, 1960s and the height of the civil rights movement, and this movie is showing there's a black man who is the hero of the movie, and I'm not going to spoil the end, but yeah, it is so good and frightening. And then they followed up with all of these other, like Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, but none of them have that same impact as Night of the Living Dead. Not to say I don't enjoy them. I do.
You enjoy them all.
I do love a good zombie movie.
Here's a little bit of a twist. This movie came up again on a lot of the lists that I look at, and it's one I haven't really watched in a long time. Edward Scissorhands.
I wouldn't consider that to be frightening.
I wouldn't consider it to be frightening either, but if you're looking at things in terms of Halloween and not in scariness.
Yes. Yeah. I mostly felt bad for Edward.
I loved that movie. It was very good. What about E.T.? It takes place on Halloween.
Yeah, but to me, it's like such an iconic movie of my childhood that it's just E.T.
We used to have a series, like a kids movie series, and I showed E.T. and I had one little girl come to the movie, and it was really intriguing to watch E.T. through her reactions because she'd never seen it before, and it is a little bit scary, and like it is a little bit sad, and it is a little bit exciting. So it was really fascinating to watch her watch this movie.
In the book My Best Friend's Exorcism, which I read a few months ago, in the beginning, one of the main characters is obsessed with E.T. And I remember thinking, you know, being the 80s, and she was having a roller skating birthday party, E.T. themed. Nice. And I was just like, wow, that is like peak 80s.
So I had to pick a movie to post on Halloween. I had two movies that I wanted to tie. Can you guess what my two movies that I thought should be posted on Halloween?
Oh, can you give me a hint?
One of them should be super obvious.
Halloween?
Yes.
Nothing like a little Mike Myers. Now, original Halloween?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
John Carpenter Halloween. I've never seen Halloween. I may attempt to watch it because I also watched Scream.
Oh.
Which I loved. The first Scream was amazing. And of course, they talk about all these, like there's all these Easter egg horror movies, scary movies in Scream. And I was like, I really should maybe try to watch Halloween. So that may be on my list.
So what about Black Christmas?
No, that's Christmas. We'll get to that. So my second movie, and because I went with Family Friendly Friday and Scary Saturdays, I'm going to post Halloween on Halloween. Spoiler alert. Mm-hmm. But for Friday, we've missed a huge Halloween classic.
Charlie Brown?
Yes. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. A movie that I have seen a bunch of times and that
Charlie Brown has a terrible Halloween.
And Charlie Brown has a terrible everything.
And Thanksgiving. And poor Charlie Brown.
I know.
And he has bad hair. I mean, he really got none of the advantages.
Poor Charlie Brown. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
So, lots of scary but also family-friendly Halloween movies that you can check out in the next couple of weeks. It's getting a little cooler in the evening. It's getting a little darker at night. It's the perfect time to start like putting in a little movie and cuddling up on the sofa.
And scaring your children.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's up to you. There's an excellent TikTok where this woman is downstairs in her basement and all you see is her standing in front of the fuse box, and then the text comes up that her daughter's having a sleepover and they're using a Ouija board, and she starts flicking all the lights and you can hear the screaming in the background.
What are you reading?
I am reading Riley Thorne and the Dead Guy Next Door by Lucy Score.
I know nothing about that book.
I did tell you about this the other day.
Oh, that just goes to show that I listen to nothing you say.
I know. I have been trying to read some cozy mysteries and it's not going particularly well. And I don't know that I would exactly put this in cozy mystery territory, but it's not like a super graphic.
It's not super murdery.
Yeah, it's not like, Kathy Reichs or something like that. So Lucy Thorne is a sort of down on her luck woman. She's just gotten a divorce. Her ex-husband really, I can't say it in polite tones.
He was bad.
He was bad, but she ended up paying for it. So she's living in this converted home filled with like seniors, and she's working this job that she hates, and she's psychic and she wants to deny it, and she ends up foreseeing the death of her next door neighbor who's a big jerk, and she tries to warn him and it doesn't work. Then he's killed. There is a super hot private investigator who comes into her life. Her family is quirky and weird. The people that she lives with are hilarious and funny, and it's going to be a series, I think. It's very well done. I'm enjoying it immensely.
So a little Janet Ivanovich kind of vibe.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more like that.
I am reading Resistance Women by Jennifer Chiavarini, and I'm about halfway through, and this book is terrifying. It's terrifying. I mean, it's not Halloween themed. It's set in Germany in the 1930s, and it's the rise of the National Socialist Party, aka the Nazis. And the women in this book are finding more and more restrictions being placed on them and the people around them, and they're trying to find ways to fight against the Nazis. You can look down south and see a lot of the same things happening right now, and I am frightened. So, topic change. We are coming into flu season, so I want to let you know that the library is being extra cautious about people coming to work ill this year, and that means that your library may be closed more this winter due to staff illness. We post closures on our website and our social media, or you can call ahead to your library to check to make sure that they're open. We just really don't want people to spread germs. It's not a good year because every little cough, I just wonder what is happening. Next week's topic, you're going to love this.
Oh, it's Canadian, isn't it?
No, you're really going to love this.
Oh, okay.
I'm not being sarcastic. Cookbooks.
Ooh.
See? Talk to you next week.
Bye.
My two favorite librarians. Brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.